Looks like SNEAKO is about to have a really bad weeko.
Watch him.
Allahu Akbar!
That's him. He did the sound effect.
Looks like SNEAKO is about to have a really bad weeko.
Look at him.
Where is he going?
But if conceptualizing or visualizing God is a problem for SNEAKO, and not just backwards reasoning to come up with justification for why he's accepting Islam, then once again, SNEAKO has some serious problems. The first reason why is because, according to some Islamic teachers,
Allah described in the Quran that he has a face. Allah described in the Quran that he has two hands.
And both of Allah's hands are right hands.
We believe that both of the hands of Allah are what? Huh?
The hadith says very clearly that both his hands are right.
The saqi refers to Allah's shin, so he has a leg.
The Quran says that Allah has one eye.
Read Surah Qalam, Surah number 68, ayat number 42. The shin of Allah is mentioned.
in fact, Sheikh Uthman, the one who brought SNEAKO to his first mosque, he believes that Allah has
That's
body
not true. Sartoro should have done.
parts as well.
Notice, he has a problem with conceptualizing or visualizing Allah, but the Muslim sources are filled with references describing Allah in very, very weird fashion. But it's important. You have to conceptualize what Allah looks like. AP, are you familiar with this? Are you familiar with the hadiths where you're only going to be able to recognize Allah at the judgment because he's going to lift up his robe and show you his shin? Yes. And Muslims are said, it said that the true followers of Islam are going to recognize him by his shin. This means that you have to have an idea of at least what his shin is like, Muslims, or you're not going to recognize him at the judgment. Am I crazy here, AP?
Yeah, no.
That's what it said. That's what it says in Bukhari, right? That at the judgment, they're not going to know. Allah's going to take on various forms, and Muslims aren't going to know what's real and what's not until Allah lifts up his robe and flashes his shin, and then they're going to be like, oh, that's Allah. Muslims, this means you have to, if you're a Muslim and you're going, I have no idea what you're talking about, you're not going to recognize Allah on Judgment Day, according to your prophet. You're not going to know what to believe. You're going to go to hell because you don't know anything. You don't know how to spot your God.
Even as I played those clips, if SNEAKO were listening to those Muslim leaders describing Allah, then it would actually be impossible for SNEAKO not to conceptualize Allah. So in other words, he would be doing the very thing that he gave as a reason for why he rejects Christianity. So now, unfortunately,
He took those clips out of context. Yeah, I mean, it's Abba Natish editing, so his argument makes sense. But also, that doesn't refute the fact that I said that there's no depictions.
This guy's good, isn't he? Oh, you took that out of context,
Out of context.
You said
and
exactly.
Think about this, though. How would he know that would be out of context anyway? Did he watch those clips? He's not familiar at all with the doctrine. That's why he's going to just assume they're out of context.
Yeah, wait. Was he saying that you're taking those clips of Muslim scholars saying that Allah has body parts, and he's saying you're taking those out of context? No, he's not. That is basic, fundamental 101 Salafi Islam. That's
industry doesn't understand. Yeah.
Wow. So this is Sahih Bukhari 7439. Look there. Look there in kind of the middle of the page, because this is a very, very long hadith. This is one of the ones where Jews say they worship Ezra and things like that, and it's total nonsense. But right there in the kind of the middle, it says, then the Almighty will come to them in a shape other than the one which they saw the first time. So Allah's doing this shape-shifting stuff. And he will say, I am your Lord. And they will say, you are not our Lord. And none will speak to him then but the prophets. And then it will be said to them, do you know any sign by which you can recognize him? Notice, Allah comes to them in some other form and says that he's their Lord, and then Muslims say, you're not our Lord. They're denying that he's their Lord because he's appearing to them in a form that they don't recognize. And none will speak to him but the prophets. And then it will be said to them, do you know any sign by which you can recognize him? Is there any way you can recognize Allah when you see him? They will say, the shin. And so Allah will then uncover his shin, whereupon every believer will prostrate before him, and there will remain those who used to prostrate before him just for showing off and for gaining good reputation. Notice, how do they recognize him? His shin. That's how they recognize him. He has a problem with visualizing and conceptualizing. If he says conceptualize is a problem, well, great. You've got the conceptualization of Allah over and over again in the Muslim sources, like a beating drum, and in pretty mainstream Islamic theology. If his problem is with visualizing God, well, I think you're about to play the clip of Mufti Abu Layth saying, if you have a problem visualizing it, Mufti Abu Layth points out, you can't not visualize this when you read about Allah's two right hands and his shin. You can't. If human beings we think in terms of images, right? So if I say don't think about an elephant, a lot of people are just instantly going to get an image of an elephant in their head, even if I just told you don't think of an elephant. Well, if you're talking about if you actually go through a list of Allah's body part, you can't help but start thinking, oh my goodness, wait, what? Wait, what? All right, let's go.
But on the other hand, if he does accept those...
And even culturally, it's forbidden to draw Muhammad, peace be upon him, or even it's completely against even drawing Jesus. You can't do that.
Muslims' interpretations of Allah, then he should reject Islam since he's against conceptualizing or visualizing God. And not only that, but he should also accept Christianity because, even as Mufti Abdul Layth says, the Quranic depiction of Allah is far worse than God being pictured as a white man.
Yeah, honestly, that is not... They've got some picture of some kind of a gremlin.
Guys, keep in mind, he is talking about mainstream Salafi Islam, which he rejects. But he even says in the longer clip, he even says, and they tell us, so they list his body parts, and then they tell us, but don't try to visualize it. And he goes, too late. He says, too late, right? I can't not.
He says, it's too late, mate, or something like that.
Yeah, too late. And then he says they've got an image of a gremlin.
What's worse, picturing an old white man or the gremlin? You know what I mean? So yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like the gremlin is what you get from reading the sources. You don't get old white man in the clouds and stuff like this in anything you would take seriously as a Christian. If you take the Muslim sources seriously, you do get something that looks an awful lot like a gremlin. And then you even have other things like it's in I think it's in Tabari where Adam is created as, you actually have a weird passage where Adam is created as a kind of copy of Allah, but it means like he's physically looks the same. And then, but he creates him as like a statue at first or something like that. And then Satan is walking along and he thinks it's Allah, but he can't figure it out. So he crawls in to Adam and he comes out and then he realizes that's not Allah, even though it looks exactly the same, because this thing is hollow, whereas Allah is solid. And so he actually crawls through Adam's digestive tract to realize that it's not Allah that he's crawling through. It's like, wait, how are you not visualizing that if you're in your descriptions? Anyway, weird, wild stuff.
Think about Islam and why it's haram to draw Muhammad. And that's why I didn't really resonate with Christianity a lot growing up, because it's like they're all the images that they put of God. It doesn't make sense to me. We are not capable of visualizing what the creator of the universe looks like, what he's doing. Why is he in a cloud chilling with a beard? Why is he white? Why is God a dude? It doesn't make any sense. So there's no point in us even conceptualizing it because we can...
Shout out to all the autistic skitsers on the Rumble chat where every single time a YouTuber has to go and steal the content and not ever cite... Look at that. He fucking credited Jadion in the description but didn't put my own link to my channel, which they all do. Oh, put your PayPal, but then don't put the link to my Rumble channel, right? But all you autistic schizos who just say top H the whole time and get the chat blurred, how many times have you seen this?
Never have the capability to.
Let's pause there.
Man.
So guys, if you just said a bunch of demonstrably false things about Christianity, and you also said a bunch of demonstrably false things about Islam, you've just said a bunch of things that are completely false and wrong, and that's not what you care about. Your obsession is, but they didn't link to my Rumble channel. Guys, there's a word for that. That's called narcissistic, right? If you don't care about how you're misrepresenting the Almighty and religions and Muhammad and Jesus, if you don't care about that, all you care, where's the link to my Rumble? I'm starting to think that religion is not a terribly significant issue for you, really. Everything is just like attention on you, and how can I get more attention? That's what it's starting to. Am I crazy here? Because that's what it looks like when someone like. Let me put it this way: if I said 50 false things in a row, and you pointed out that everything I said is false, and every reason I had for believing something is false, the least of my concerns would be whether you posted a link to my stuff. That would be like the last thing I'd be worried about. I'd be more like, my goodness, I'm wrong about absolutely everything. I lack basic critical thinking skills. I don't understand how logic works. I've got problems. I need to go study. It wouldn't be, where's my link? Where's my link? Huh? This is weird.
well, even so, this is what's odd about it. Like he said something about the blur. I think he's saying that I blurred the chat. I'm not, unless I misunderstood. But I didn't blur this. I took this clip from you actually. So what's funny is like the reason I tagged Jadion is because he's on YouTube. SNEAKO's not on there. And I wasn't saying, go check out Gideon's, his YouTube channel or something like that. I was just tagging him in the description as I was talking. I'm saying, yeah, and in a debate with Gideon, this is, he said some other things or whatever. So, but that's why I didn't link the channel, because I'm not promoting a channel here. I would tag them, because I wanted him to see the video anyway. So I would have tagged him in it so that way he could see the video. But it's just kind of funny because, it didn't cross my mind since he's on Rumble. I can't even tag him there, and it didn't cross my mind for me to think to cite his channel. I wouldn't care about that personally. So that would never cross my mind to be like, oh, they should be putting me in the description. So anyway, so in my mind, it's a weird response. But if he's worried about it, I was like, I don't care. If that will take away your excuse, then that's fine. So I added him. I put a link to his Rumble in my description just so that way we take away that excuse, because to me it's so irrelevant. It has nothing to do with any of the other points I made. I don't have a problem doing it. Like you said earlier, if you just asked, sure.
I think this video was published by a small Muslim channel, and they blurred the chat to hide all the stuff,
profanity and stuff. Yeah, exactly. But they didn't cut out his words anyway. So notice it's a Muslim channel that blurred whatever. He blames us. I'm like you, John.
They didn't link his channel. I don't know if they probably didn't link his one.
I wasn't even thinking in terms of this. If I'd had any clue that it's important to link to his Rumble channel, I would have done it. I'm not going to do it now just because he's throwing a tantrum over it and he's acting like a baby. And I think that when someone acts like a baby and you do what he wants, it's like you're encouraging people to throw tantrums and act like babies. But like I said, if he, because we're making responses to him. If he says, "Hey guys, could you link to me?" No problem, zero problem. Yeah. Zero problem. But don't act like a crybaby.
Please link to my Rumble, please.
I don't think he linked to my channel in his description, did he? Of course he didn't. He didn't link to my channel.
Yeah, hypocrite.
Yeah, he did.
That's because
if we want to talk about stealing content, think about Muhammad.
Yeah. Right, here we go.
And no disrespect to the Catholics watching. I like the fact that Islam doesn't draw Muhammad, peace be upon him. You're not supposed to ever.
What's up?
There's a reason why I put that clip there too, because he even says here, he goes, well, people are going to clip my stuff. If you clip it, just punt that I said no disrespect to Catholics. So that's me going out of my way in order to give courtesy to what he's saying, respecting what he's saying. So to act like I was being a snake and stealing, you know what I mean, and not crediting him is just ridiculous, in my opinion. But anyways.
Yeah. And everyone notice, it says right on my screen during this live stream, we've got rumble.com/SNEAKO right there in the corner. Don't be crying about
rumble.com/SNEAKO. If you haven't heard it, rumble.com/SNEAKO.
Everyone go check out rumble.com. That's the thing. I can't even send people to his channel because if you go there, it's going to be like him with two girls making out on his lap and stuff like that. So
that actually happened 2 days ago. For those who think we're just making this up, just a few days ago, there was footage of him live with some other guy who's live on his channel. He's in the background with two girls kissing each other. And then, as far as the other streamer explained, they actually had a threesome later on, which was off screen. But this is interesting because that guy was brought that up angrily in a live conversation together, where he was talking so virtuously about Islam again, and kept interrupting and kind of insulting his Christian message and preaching. And he said, "Do you really want me to expose you right now? Do you really want me to tell people that you just had a threesome 2 days ago?" And he went completely quiet. So this is wild stuff that is going on.
I saw a clip. I think the dude said that SNEAKO invited him to watch or something. He's like, I don't want to watch, but I heard the noises or something like that. It's like, this is the new poster boy for Islam. I like Islam because you guys won't call me out for having 3 ways, but this Christian, well, that's why I hate Christianity.
Yeah, I don't care about any of this stuff, but this is just.
I don't care what he does, but
it's wild. But this is just, I don't know. It's the poster boy.
Here we go.
Visualize that because he was not alive in our time. There's no way that we would know what he looked like. Especially God is never drawn. We have no idea what he looks like, or because there's no way. Humans are too stupid. We're not mentally capable of understanding what God would look like.
We can't conceptualize.
We can't conceptualize. So it's not supposed to. In Christianity, I'll grow up and you have God on a cloud, and it's like this guy with a white dude on a beard. He's laying in a cloud, and he's
where?
His hand down. Why?
Look, these guys are like, ha, dumb Christianity. What are you talking about? On that episode of The Simpsons or something? Anyway.
Well, what's funny too is you'll notice all the reasons. So he takes the Islamic points but he doesn't understand the reasons for why they give those points. And so then he has these ridiculously, all the reasons he gives, you know what I mean, don't line up with how Muslims think, because he thinks things are forbidden. He's like, oh yeah, they're, everything he calls haram, but he thinks they're forbidden, but he doesn't understand the reasons why. And so because of that, he has these ridiculous explanations. That's because I'm like, okay, so you never liked pictures, like, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is the perfect religion for me because they don't like pictures either. That sounds strange, right? Like,
I like crackers, Norwegian crackers.
It seems more plausible that he heard that this is a Muslim talking point, and then he's just like, oh, okay, yeah, and he embraced it without thinking or understanding the reasons for why Muslims have these points. That's what seems more plausible. But I mean, again, I'm always careful not to assume people's motives because, you know, I don't like it when people assume my motives, so I'm not going to assume their motives all the time. But it seems more plausible to me that a lot of it's just backwards reasoning. That's what it sounds like. But
it's so weird that he makes it look like it is Christianity that has this picture of God who is a man and who is on a cloud and who has a beard and is a white. I guess he thinks that that Renaissance paintings, that Michelangelo's creation of Adam is actually part of the Bible or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you see, Christianity had Renaissance paintings. This is why I reject it. Islam had no Renaissance paintings. Ha! This is the religion for me. People are already pointing out what John's about to go to. So Jesse says Allah has 2 right hands and 1 shin. Correct. John Clash said 2 right hands. So people are pointing out exactly where John's about to go. Namely, the Muslims just said, oh yeah, you can't conceptualize him. What? What do you mean you can't conceptualize him? The Muslim sources are filled with conceptualizing him. But let's go ahead and see.
Yeah.
It's heard. He thinks that it's wrong.
Ready for his argument? He's going to say that Catholics are different from whatever branch of Christianity he's a part of.
To draw God or Jesus or Muhammad, since we don't know what they actually look like. But if conceptualizing or visualizing God is a problem for SNEAKO, and not just backwards reasoning to come up with justification for why he's accepting Islam, then once again, SNEAKO has some serious problems. The first reason why is because, according to some Islamic teachers,
Allah described in the Quran that he has a face. Allah described in the Quran that he has 2 hands.
And both of Allah's hands are right hands.
We believe that both of the hands of Allah are what? Huh?
The hadith says very clearly that both his hands are right.
The saq here refers to Allah's shin. So he has a leg.
The Quran says that Allah has 1 eye.
Read Surah Qalam, Surah number 68, ayat number 42. The shin of Allah is mentioned.
in fact, Sheikh Uthman, the one who brought SNEAKO to his first mosque, he believes that Allah has
That's not true. Sartoro Shooter did.
parts as well, although Shooter gets pretty fuzzy when he's pressed on exactly what those body parts look like. But
by the way,
what's that?
I was thinking when he said shooter, I was thinking he was talking about Uthman, but I think I have that wrong because he was talking about Uthman in this clip I was listening to. Then he said shooter's the one that brought him to the mosque. So I thought he was talking about Uthman. Since
it's a different shooter. That was his nickname. That was his nickname, Shooter.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Yeah, so I guess it's a different shooter because he said that's not true. So it's a problem that I never heard of. Yeah, so.
Well, John, we know that if anyone says something that turns out to be incorrect, you can't trust him ever.
When I said shooter, I meant that. I meant I meant mom.
Wait, whose nickname is? Why is his nickname Shooter?
Because he used to be. I don't know. I just heard that from Anthony or something was saying that like when he's sharing his story or something like this. Apparently, he was into gangs or something like that back in the day, and his nickname was Shooter or something like that.
There. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But so notice he has a problem with conceptualizing or visualizing Allah, but the Muslim sources are filled with references describing Allah in very, very weird fashion. But it's important. You have to conceptualize what Allah looks like. AP, are you familiar with this? Are you familiar with the hadiths where you're only going to be able to recognize Allah at the judgment because he's going to lift up his robe and show you his shin? Yes. And Muslims are said, it said that the true followers of Islam are going to recognize him by his shin. This means that you have to have an idea of at least what his shin is like, Muslims, or you're not going to recognize him at the judgment. Is that am I crazy here, AP?
Yeah, no.
That's what it said. That's what it says in Bukhari, right? That at the judgment, they're not going to know. Allah's going to take on various forms, and Muslims aren't going to know what's real and what's not until Allah lifts up his robe and flashes his shin, and then they're going to be like, oh, that's Allah. Muslims, this means you have to, if you're a Muslim and you're going, I have no idea what you're talking about, you're not going to recognize Allah on Judgment Day according to your prophet. You're not going to know what to believe. You're going to go to hell because you don't know anything. You don't know how to spot your God.
In my theology,
that's from Bukhari.
That's Bukhari.
That's the weakest hadith, right? Weak hadith.
It's the weakest of the weak, depending on if you're Shia.
In the hierarchy.
So in my Sunni Sufi theology and in much of mainstream Islam, or parts of mainstream Islam, it was correct that you cannot really picture Allah and describe Him, and that you have to just you cannot take those things at face value. You cannot take them literally. You just have to not think about those or just understand those as metaphorical. But this view is considered heretical or blasphemous by the traditionalists who took SNEAKO in and who are with SNEAKO all the time. So he shouldn't be saying these things. This is not in alignment with the Islam that he is getting into.
Yeah. So my goodness, I left Christianity because they conceptualize God, and Renaissance painters made pictures of him, and I saw a picture of him in a episode of Family Guy or something like that, and therefore I left that, and therefore I'm going to Islam where they don't do this, or they don't do this, and then he
How does Michelangelo know what God looks like? This is unacceptable to me.
Unacceptable. So he has already picked up on the total inconsistency and hypocrisy. It's like he's already got that down. So he's good to go.
The thing, even as I played those clips, if SNEAKO were listening to those Muslim leaders describing Allah, then it would actually be impossible for SNEAKO not to conceptualize Allah. So in other words, he would be doing the very thing that he gave as a reason for why he rejects Christianity. So now, unfortunately,
he took those clips out of context. Yeah, I mean, it's Abba editing, so his argument makes sense. But also, that doesn't refute the fact that I said that there's no depictions.
This guy's good, isn't he? Oh, you took that out of context. You said exactly.
Think about this, though. How would he know that would be out of context anyway? Did he watch those clips? He's not familiar at all with the doctrine. That's why he's going to just assume they're out of context.
Yeah. Wait. Was he saying that you're taking those clips of Muslim scholars saying that Allah has body parts, and he's saying you're taking those out of context? No, he's not. That is basic, fundamental 101 Salafi Islam. That's
what he doesn't understand. Yeah.
Wow. Hey! For those of you who are watching, guys, I'm just tossing all these nuggets of YouTube knowledge out repeatedly. SNEAKO destroys Salafis. That's it. Play the clip of him, and then play what Salafis think, and he destroyed Salafis. And I'm saying that because lots of the popular da'is are Salafis. So
So, and what people don't realize, it's funny too, because I had comments from Muslims on my video saying, "Oh, you're hating on Islam." And I'm thinking, I'm not hating on Islam. I'm like, you shouldn't be mad at me. It's not me versus Islam on this video. This is SNEAKO versus Islam. This has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? And I try to make a point of that too. There's a comment here though that you guys missed that says we can't conceptualize God's face, but we can his nature. But remember, even in the first clip, didn't the guy just say, he's like, God has a head. He has one eye in the other clip. so I think that is conceptualizing his face, but I don't know. What do I know? Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, you don't know because you're not SNEAKO. All right, more from our super smart friend SNEAKO.
Is different than depiction.
SNEAKO's in a bit of a dilemma. He can either accept or reject exactly what those body parts look like. But here's the thing, even as I played those clips, if SNEAKO were listening to those Muslim leaders describing Allah, then it would actually be impossible for SNEAKO not to conceptualize Allah. So in other words, he would be doing the very thing that he gave as a reason for why he rejects Christianity. So now, unfortunately,
he took those clips out of context. Yeah, I mean, it's Abba editing, so his argument makes sense. But also, that doesn't refute the fact that I said that there's no depictions. Description is different than depiction.
SNEAKO's in a bit of a dilemma. He can either accept or reject these teachers' interpretation of those passages in the Quran and the Hadiths. If he rejects their interpretation, then he would have to interpret those passages as non-literal representations of God, which is the very thing that everyone knows is true about the paintings that he's referencing. No one thinks that those are actually real depictions of what God is supposed to look like. But regardless, if SNEAKO doesn't like pictures of God, then he can still reject those since those aren't a feature of Christianity. It's not as if these pictures are found in the Bible or they're part of any Christian teaching.
But they put it in churches. You see depictions of God, like on the...
You just saw Muslims talking about Allah's shin and so on. That's in. They say that in mosques.
How is that not worse? It's like you have them talking about God's body parts in your actual sources, and then you have something that's not from our sources that are on a building, which you can go to another building, you know what I mean? And then you're considering that that's fundamental to Christianity because it's in a building, but it's not fundamental to Islam, even though it's in the Islamic sources. That makes no sense. So it has to be a bigger problem for Islam than it would be in Christianity if this is actually a problem for him.
SNEAKO, if you're watching this, I'd love to have a conversation with you in private or in public about this. So reach out to me if you're interested.
Yeah, bro, but look at the fucking snake shit you did. Using so many clips, but the fact that, and this is what I'm so sick about these fucking bot tubers, is right now, I'm not even lying, I'm dominating on YouTube. I'm pulling in so many views on YouTube, and if I was still on there, the amount of money that I'm missing out of because I was banned.
This is what he's complaining about?
7 months ago is insane. And all these people that make videos about me do not credit my channel.
They don't credit you.
The fact that he went out there to credit Jadion because he's on his side of the argument, and he didn't even use a clip from his stream. He just cited him because he agrees with him. That's some.
Do we need to keep going here? Because now he's just whining.
What's funny about that is, like, you see, I tagged Jadion. I wrote SNEAKO's name there, but because SNEAKO doesn't have a YouTube channel, I couldn't tag SNEAKO. So he's like, oh, he's citing Jadion because he agrees with him. What? I put his name there, and I also have your name there too, SNEAKO. It's not like I removed SNEAKO's name. So it's just kind of funny. Anyways.
Yeah, so you can do a tag, an official YouTube tag to another channel, but he doesn't have a channel, and therefore you didn't tag him, and he's flipping out about it. Are we done with this, by the way? Because he's about to go on to my clip, which we've already watched. All right, so...
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, what do we have?
That's a lot.
Every single reason he gave for converting to Islam was exposed as complete nonsense, that he didn't know what he was talking about when it comes to Christianity, and that he didn't know what he was talking about according to Islam. All of the objections should cause him to leave Islam and convert to Christianity, not leave Christianity and convert to Islam. And once you've completely destroyed all of his reasons, his response is, but you didn't link to me. See, this is why I don't take you seriously. I reject Christianity. Why? Because the Christians don't link to my Rumble channel. This is my real reason for rejecting Christianity. These Christians never respect me and link to my Rumble channel, man. This is why I can't stand Christianity. Muslims, they link to my Rumble channel. Muslims do it. They point people to my Rumble channel so they can see me having all these girls making out on my lap and stuff. You see that? Come on, what's wrong? That's why I'm a Muslim.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay, like, because unfortunately, I really don't think he understood a lot of what was. I mean, yeah, part of it was a problem, and this is what I said earlier, and I think it's worth reiterating. Is I think, like, honestly, I think the fact that, like, after you commit so publicly to something like that, and you're taking all this heat and you're justifying it, you get more and more pot committed into that concept. Because now I showed all of the reasons for why he said he converted. I think that's all of the reasons. I think there was one more that I didn't include because I wanted to round it at 5 instead of 6. But there was all of the. And the other one was just basically him talking about the U.
Oh yeah. You mentioned. A matter of fact, that was actually some more of the point which we could. But yeah, the only thing I remember was you said there's also the issue of him saying there's only one Quran, and then you said I would cover that.
Yeah, and then he goes, oh, John didn't even cover this, So he was just so he was saying, oh, it left me on a cliffhanger. Oh, what is this? This is my main reason. Yeah, because man, if you watch your video, that's going to be pretty bad. So yeah. Anyways, interesting. I do give him props though for actually sitting through and playing all of it, even though he was. I mean, people were saying that he was getting cooked the whole time. So like, because he actually still sat there and played the whole clip, I give him props for that. Yeah, I think that was cool of him to just continue to play it and not just try to think of or try to get out of it somehow. So that shows that at least he's willing to stand his ground there. So props for that.
Yeah, that is, and I totally agree. Total respect for SNEAKO for playing him getting cooked. Right? I mean, he's getting cooked, and he sat there. I mean, he threw a tantrum, and then in the end, he had to go, oh, but you didn't link to my Rumble. Ah! And so he looked like, but massive credit to him for actually sitting there and taking that, because he could have just ignored it and could have just played Zakir Night clips or something like that. And pretty.
That's even better than Farid playing our live stream in which we are cooking Muhammad and So.
Yeah, he played us. I mean, he played us like actually insulting Muhammad, and so hats off to him. Hey, I have to like I like the way these guys are going in their live streams, playing our stuff.
Amazing.
That cooks them. This guy Mars said, for real, we should pray for SNEAKO. AP, are you going to pray for SNEAKO?
I agree. Yeah.
I will pray to the flying spaghetti monster, or I'll just pray to nothingness and.
Yeah, the nothingness that brought us here.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts on any of this before we close out? What do you think?
I mean, I agree. I think we should pray for SNEAKO. And I mean, again, if SNEAKO wants to have a conversation, I'd love to. I mean, and that's the whole thing too. I don't want to dunk on him. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to be like, oh, I have all this knowledge you don't. Like, really just like that's why I said in private, because then it's not like, because I don't care. I mean, I'd like for him to actually come to knowledge of the truth. So of course I'd want to have a conversation with him to bring him in that direction. I don't care about clicks. He kept saying I'm trying to get clicks and whatever. Like, I mean, if we're keeping it above, I think my channel is bigger than his Rumble channel right now. You know what I mean? So it's not about that. It's really about just me actually caring about the issues at hand. So anyway, if he wants to have a conversation in private, cool. He can hear my side, and then he can decide what he wants to do after that. You know what I mean? Then that's cool. If not, that's cool as well. You know what I mean? But hopefully he still wants to come understand the truth and try to look at things objectively no matter what, you know, so.
All right, AP, are you ready to return to Islam based on those powerful arguments?
I will think about it, yeah. But no, I just want to say, I want to just reiterate again that I might have said things as a reaction during this whole stream, in reaction to the stuff that he says that might be kind of, you know, insulting or condescending. But I mean, the idea is definitely, and the general attitude that I have and that we have is definitely not to insult him, to make fun of him, to hate him, to point at him and say, "Oh, look at this idiot." It is just. But we have to sit here and talk about the things that he says when he is presented as a new poster boy, and when he does go out there and talk about these things, when he is in a position to possibly influence other people. We have to respond to the things that he says. If the things that he says are very, very bad, and I'm not saying morally bad, I'm saying intellectually bad, then we have to point this out. But other than that, there is no hate for him, no hostility. I think I respect him as a human being, and I think that he's a funny and entertaining guy, and I'm always open to coming together and having an honest conversation with him as well, and without any attempt at all to, I don't know, humiliate him or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's all in good faith.
Yeah. So, SNEAKO, my view is if you are talking to people, you are responsible for what you're telling them. And so if you're telling people completely false things, you're responsible for that. You're responsible for misleading people. And you know, if you don't care about that, if you don't care if you're getting things completely wrong, you're completely misrepresenting things, yeah, Islam's probably the religion for you, because your new God and your new prophet were like that, right? They said things that are completely false, that demonstrated they have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. According to the Quran, Christians believe in a trinity made up of Allah, Jesus, and Mary. According to the Quran and the Hadith, Jews worship Ezra as the son of Allah. Show me a Jew ever who worshipped Ezra as the son of Allah. It's false. So yeah, you do have a good precedent in your religion for talking and having absolutely no clue what you're talking about. Your God and prophet are like that. But I hope you would actually be better, because again, you are responsible if you mislead other people. You're responsible if you are misleading other people. And what's weird is I would expect you actually care. You say things. You said almost every reason you've given for rejecting Christianity and accepting Islam actually is more of a problem for Islam and should give you reasons for accepting Christianity. And when John McCrae points that out to you, you get mad at John McCrae. You don't get mad at the people who lied to you. You don't get mad at yourself for your ignorance and for spouting things that are completely false. You get mad at the person who corrects you. For everyone who's watching, that is not a good characteristic. You should be if someone corrects me on something, yeah, if you catch me in the wrong mind, I might be ticked off that you're correcting me, but at the end of the day, I'd like to be corrected if I'm wrong about things. If you view people who correct you as your enemies and view people who lie to you as your heroes and champions, your problems are not over, my friend. So anyway, everyone keep that in mind. AP and I, there's some links to me and John's videos are in the description box. The videos that SNEAKO's kind of reacting to, you can check those out. I don't have a link to SNEAKO because he's whining. But if he you don't have to be nice. You don't have to grovel. Just say it like an adult. Say it like an adult. Hey guys, could you link to my Rumble channel? I will do it every time I talk about you. Happy to do it. Just act like a grown-up. And AP and I will be live on, the theory is that we're going to be live on Tuesday, I think with Cameron and Khalil. So a Catholic and an Ismaili Muslim talking about whether Christians and Muslims should unite to respond to atheists. That was Cameron's tweet. John, you actually disagreed with him. I can't believe you disagreed with Cameron about something, man. But
didn't agree.
Yeah, we're finally going to have it out. We're finally going to have it out on Tuesday. The final battle between Christianity, Islam, and atheism will be Tuesday on AP's channel. Hope you all tune in for that, and we'll catch y'all next time.
What color is your Bible? What color is your Bible?
What color is your Bible? What color is your Bible? What? You see?
Oh boy.
Catch y'all later.
See you from